So, Derek Tran from California 45, thank you so much for sitting down with me on No Noise, Just Policy. We want to discuss your Protect Veteran Jobs Act that you just introduced. So, let's dive right in. There's been an
Absolutely.
estimated 6,000 veterans fired by Doge. And, how have these layoffs impacted not only your decision to condemn it, but to go as far as introducing legislation to reverse it?
Yeah, this administration is dishonoring those men and women who have donned the uniform to serve our country. And I see it as my duty to stand up and, fight for them. This is the right thing to do. They had our backs when we needed them, and now it's our turn, my turn, to have their back.
Absolutely. So the bill mandates quarterly reports from federal agencies on the number of veterans that are fired, and also, I think this might be key, the reason why they were fired. What prompted you to include this part of the bill, and what insight do you hope to gain from it?
Right. And for me, it's about doing my job as a legislator, and making sure that I perform the oversight and the checks and balances on this administration. So, and having them report to us, to Congress, on the terminations of veterans, it gives us a better control of what's going on with the administration.
Right. So the bill also proposes reinstatement for veterans dismissed without cause since Trump was sworn in. How does the bill define without cause? You're a former employment attorney, so of course having this language is key. But also, if it was passed, what process will be used to determine which vets are reinstated? Is it 100%? What does that eligibility process look like?
Yeah, look, for me, it deals with common sense. And if we're looking at terminating and laying off employees, let's do it in a manner that is surgical and not reckless. Let's look at their job performances. I mean, a lot of these veterans that I've been speaking to had stellar work performances history, and they've done nothing but dedicate themselves to this country, serving in a uniform and now serving in a federal job. And that's what they want to continue doing. But I cannot support an administration that just comes in and willy-nilly, recklessly firing thousands, 6,000, over 6,000 veterans.
Right, right. It is breathtaking in scope. And I think that this is also important to get to the human element of it. As a veteran and former, employment attorney yourself, can you elaborate a little bit on what you think these veterans are going through psychologically and financially after being fired when they served their country?
Look, it's hard, right? You've dedicated your life to serving, and then now you're serving in a different capacity. You're serving as a civil servant, and your livelihood is at stake. Your financial livelihood's at stake. Your job and everything that you viewed as the most important thing to you has been taken away from you. So I've spoken to a veteran just earlier today that was working for the USDA. He was 11 months and 1 week in, and he got terminated without cause. He's gotten reviews and letters after the termination from his supervisor saying he was an excellent employee. And why are we letting him go? These are the decisions that are being made by this administration that I cannot support. And he's just months away from being homeless, unfortunately, because he's living off savings right now. And that sucks. And that's not how this country should take care of their veterans.
Absolutely. Lastly, due to perhaps staffing shortages from this mass purge, the firings within the VA, I mean, I'm just thinking it could impact disability, healthcare, even the Veterans Crisis Hotline that fields those who are at risk of suicide. I mean, this is life and death for people. And so looking at it through that lens, how do you think this bill aims to mitigate all of that?
Look, it's holding the administration accountable for their actions. It's making sure that from us not really taking care of our veterans. And we have an opportunity here for President Trump to act on, his constant, I love veterans, we're there for veterans. Here's your chance, President Trump, to support this bill, to bring them back into the federal workplace, who they've done so much for our country. So it's now our turn to take care of them. It's that simple for me. It's so bipartisan.
Absolutely. And bipartisan, I don't want to keep you. Do you have time for just one brief question about bipartisan support, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay. So this should be a bipartisan bill, right? The GOP is very much pro veterans. We support our troops. Have you heard any Republicans who are willing to publicly come out and support the bill with you introducing it as a Democrat? We know how fractured it is right now.
Yeah, great question. And I think this is not, not just the Republicans are pro-veterans, Democrats and independents are pro-veterans as well. So I've worked very hard to make sure that I cross the aisle. I'm talking to my Republican colleagues. A couple of them told me that they think it's a great bill, but the time's not right for them to jump on. I don't know what that truly means, but it's unfortunate that they can't step up and be there and have the backs of our veterans.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I will let you get back to, I'm sure you're very busy right now. But thank you so much. And again, this is No Noise, Just Policy with Morgan Stevens. And we're here with Representative Derek Tran of California 45. Thank you again.